Good morning, all children. So, yesterday we have completed the lesson. Pips amazes himself. Now we are solving the exercises. Okay, let's start with the word bank. Okay, you can see here on page number 28. Question number A. Underline the words that mean the same as the words given in bold. Okay, so curious. So, what is the similar word for curious? Eager. Yes, I have ticked here. Okay, bumped means hit. Okay, then sufficient, enough, length, distance. So I have given here answers. You can take a screenshot also, and you can write in your notebook. You have to write all question answers in your notebook. Okay, so devoured, consumed. Okay, inferred, concluded. Immense, massive. Reckless means rash. Okay, frantic means wild. Okay, torture, agony. Okay, flighty means vain. Hurrah, cheered. Undoubtedly means certainly. Forge means a place to make metal goods, metal workshop. Okay. Memorable, unforgettable. Okay. So these are the answers of question A. Okay. Then question B. Fill in the blanks in the following sentences with the correct word from the help box. Okay, and there are more words in the box, so we have to choose correct ones. So here also I have given answers. The spectator went mad with joy at India's victory in the match and hurrahed the team with full throated shouts. Hurrah means he cheered for India. Okay, so that word is suitable here. Okay, it was an immense task to beat the powerful candidate in the elections, but Amit did it. Immense task. Immense means it was a very large, massive task. It was. Okay, so it is suitable here. Undoubtedly, Mahatma Gandhi has been the greatest man of the 20th century and he will never be forgotten. Okay, so undoubtedly is the suitable word here. There is no doubt about Mahatma Gandhi's greatness here, so that is why undoubtedly is suitable. It was a torture to watch the 3 hour long movie, the worst I had ever seen. Okay, it was like a torture watching that boring movie. Okay, the worst I had ever seen. So torture is suitable word here. Alice was curious to know whether she could grow smaller if she ate the cake with eat me written on it. Okay, she was curious to know about that. So let's move towards a C question now. Put the following words in alphabetical order. Okay, and read them aloud. So this also I have given, means you can do this alphabetical order, you know how to do it, but I have given the answers also here. Okay, I have given numbers, you can see. So you also check and give numbers and write them. Okay, in your notebook in the correct order. Okay, not in this order, you write in correct order, means which word will come first, you write it first. Okay. Then understanding better is their question. A question A here. State whether the following statements are true or false. Okay. The narrator's sister was one of the most caring and loving women. What she? What do you think? She hit him on the nape of the neck and small of the back. So was she most caring and loving woman? No. So this is false. Okay. Miss Estella, Miss Havisham's niece, gave cake and wine in a gold plate to her. Miss Estella gave cake and wine in a gold plate to Miss Havisham. It is true. According to Pip, it is true. Pip told like this. Okay. Third one. Veal cutlets were served to the narrator in a silver plate. Okay, was it true? Veal cutlets? The dogs were fighting for the veal cutlets. Okay, so it is false. The cupboard was full of pistols, jam, and pills beside swords. So he said, no, Pip said that there were jam and pills besides pistols and swords. So it is true. Okay. Pip's sister told her husband Joe to Joe the real experience of narrator. Pip's sister told what Pip said to her. Okay, Pip's real experience she told to her husband. So it is true because Mr. Joe, after came towards Pip and asked about that. So it is true. Okay. Now B question. Tick the right answer. Uh, every time the narrator answered a question, his sister hugged him hard for his wit, praised him for his observation, or hit him hard on the neck or back for not giving enough details. So you know this is correct answer B. Second one, the narrator was sure Mr. Pumblechook had never seen Miss Havisham because he agreed with whatever the narrator said about her. Okay, it is also correct. Let's see the B one. He winked at his sister to show agreement with the narrator. Or C. He agreed with the narrator's description that Miss Havisham was very tall and dark when she was nothing of the kind. Okay, means he agreed with the narrator that what narrator said. Narrator means Pip. He said she was very tall and dark and she was nothing of the kind. So C is the correct answer. Which of the following is not a statement made by the narrator? Means which statement he did not make. Okay. The narrator had cake and wine on a gold plate which he ate sitting with Miss Havisham on her velvet coach. Was it true? This statement Pip did not make. And let's see the remaining two now. Four big dogs fought for veal cutlets out of a silver basket. This is true. Okay, this statement was made by Pip, the narrator. Miss Havisham, Estella, and the narrator played with different colored flags. Okay, this is also correct. See, uh, this was the only statement which was not made by the narrator. A question, a statement. Okay. Now fourth, which question forced Mr. Pumblechook to admit that he had never seen Miss Havisham? Who asked it? Okay, means which question forced Pumblechook to admit that he had never seen her, never seen Miss Havisham, and who asked that question to it? When Pip's sister asked him where the coach was. Okay, when Pip's sister asked whether what Pip said was possible, and when Pip's sister asked Mr. Pumblechook directly whether he had ever seen Miss Havisham sitting in a sedan chair. So, this is the correct answer. When she asked that uh, if you had seen her uh, sitting in a sedan chair, so then he admitted, okay, that how could I have never seen. Okay, so fifth one now. Why did Pip admit the truth to his brother-in-law? So he was feeling extremely guilty and wanted to confess to someone. No, it is not true. So he truly loved and respected Joe only. Joe means his brother-in-law, means her sister's husband. Joe only, and was ashamed of lying to him. Okay, this seems correct answer. This answer seems correct. And there is a third one also, C1. He was afraid that Joe will guess the truth and he would be punished by him. No, no, no. Joe would not punish him. He was a kind-hearted person. Okay, so this answer the questions. I cannot write here, so I will provide you in the group. I will send the answers in group after some time. Okay, C, answer the questions, and this think and answer also I will write and send on groups. Okay, let's move towards let's learn grammar now. Okay, a question here. In the list given below, one adjective means opposite of the other three. Okay, which is it? You have to write. Profuse, insufficient, copious, abundant. So, all other three suggest the same meaning, but insufficient means less. Okay, others are telling same meaning, but insufficient is different one and opposite one. Immense, massive, extensive, diminutive. So, immense, massive, extensive, all suggest the same meaning, but diminutive is uh, different or opposite. Rigid, flexible, pliable, supple. So rigid is opposite word here. Expensive, valuable, worthless, priceless. So worthless is opposite. Small, minute, large, tiny. So large is opposite, you know. Okay. So B question now. Underline the collective nouns in each sentence. Okay. Collective nouns you have to write. Collective nouns means when a lot of things are suggested by only one noun. Okay, a collection is mentioned by a noun. The audience was amazed by the wide range of singer's voice. What is this? Audience means not only one audience is here, one person is not here. Audience means all the persons who are present, who are watching or listening the musical show. Okay. So audience is collective now. The mob means not only one person is there in the mob. Okay, so mob means also a group of people. Okay, so mob also suggests a collection of people. The mob was quickly dispersed by the troop of the mounted policemen had means troop means there are a lot of policemen. So, mob and troop are collective nouns here. The speedboat startled a flock of kingfishers and drenched the crowd standing near the beach. The speedboat startled a flock of kingfishers. Flock means here collective noun, and drenched the crowd standing near the beach. Crowd means people, lot of people were standing there. So it is also a collective noun. Collective noun. Okay. My uncle's flourishing orchard. Orchard means fruits. A lot of trees of fruits, uh, so are called as uh, orchard. Okay. So flourishing orchard has a grove of orange trees. Okay, there are some orange trees. Okay, growing on same place. Okay, near and a vineyard of grapes. Okay, and a cluster of different varieties of bananas. Okay, so this is also these are also the collective nouns which I have underlined here. Okay, and there is fifth question now. The scared villagers watched the cavalry marching through their village, firing a fusillade of shots in the air. Okay, so cavalry means army. Okay, and fusillade means uh, combined shots of lot of when lot of gunshots are produced, so it is called combinedly as a fusillade. Okay, now let's move towards the C question. Read the passage carefully. Let's move towards the C question now. Read the passage carefully and answer the questions that follow. Okay. There is a passage here, and what we have to do, First question, underline the verbs in the above passage and change them into past tense. Okay, we have to change them into past tense. Trawl nets catch only the fish that feeds on the bottom of the sea. Okay, first of all, we will do the first thing, we will underline the verbs from the passage. Okay, okay, wait, okay. Huh. Now, see, uh, trawl nets catch. Catch is the verb here, so I'm underlining it. Fish that feed, feed is the verb here. Then on the bottom of the sea, as for the weighted ground line, drags along. Drags is the verb here. It disturbs such fish as sole, plaice, cod, haddock, and whiting. They swim. Swim is another verb here. Up from the bottom and so pass into the mouth of the advancing net. Pass is another verb here. Okay. Once they are in the narrow end of the net called the cod end, there is little chance of their escaping. There is the another verb here. Okay. So, uh, these are the verbs from this passage, and we have to change them into past tense. Okay, so what you will write here, trawl nets caught. Okay, catch, caught. Past tense of catch is caught. Caught only the fish that fed, pd fed. Okay, fed on the bottom of the sea as the weighted ground line dragged. Okay, dragged, it will become dragged along the seabed. It disturbed such fish as sole, plaice, cod, haddock, and whiting. These are types of fish. Okay, they swim. What will become of swim? Swam. Okay, swam up from the bottom and so passed into the mouth of the advancing net. Once they R is okay. So R is another verb here. So we have to change it. Once they were in the narrow end of the net called the cod end, there was little chance of their escaping. Okay, you know now, means we have to change them into past tense. Okay, find five adjectives and the five nouns they describe. Five nouns we have to find out, and five adjectives, okay, which are in describing them. So what we will do now, we will find out the adjective. So what are the adjectives here? Trawl nets. It's a kind of, what kind of nets? Trawl nets. Catch only the fish that feed on the bottom of the sea as the weighted ground line. So this also describes the noun ground line. Okay, this is noun. Here nets is noun and trawl is describing it. Okay, drags along the seabed. It disturbs such fish as sole, plaice, cod, haddock, and whiting. They swim up from the bottom and so pass into the mouth of advancing net. This is adjective, this is noun. Okay. Once they are in the narrow end. Okay, narrow is adjective, end is noun of the net called the cod end. There is little chance of their escaping. Little is adjective, chance is noun. Okay, so uh, here are the adjectives and nouns which they are describing. Third question says that circle the prepositions. Prepositions we have to circle. Okay, what we can do here, on is circle the prepositions on. Then uh, prepositions, see here, it disturbs such fish as sole, plaice. They swim up from the bottom and so pass into. the mouth of the advancing net once they are in the narrow sorry huh, in the narrow end of the net called the chord end, there is little chance of their escaping. Okay, so these are prepositions here. Of is here also. Okay, so these are prepositions that we have circled now. And the fourth one, they swim up from the bottom and so pass into the mouth of the advancing net. Okay, rewrite the sentence without using and so. Okay, and so we have to remove. Okay, they swim up from the bottom and pass into the mouth of the advancing net. Like that we can write directly. Okay, and so we have to remove this. Okay, there is little chance of their escaping. Change into an exclamatory sentence. We have to change it into exclamatory sentence. Okay, how we can change? So what we can write here, how little chance of their and put an exclamatory mark after that. Okay, so how little chance uh, of their escaping. Okay, and we can put an exclamatory mark there. Okay, so let's move next question. So what we have to do, punctuate the following conversation. Punctuate means we have to add all the punctuation marks like comma, full stop, okay, and capitalization, all we have to correct. Swaminathan stand up, said the teacher. Swaminathan stood up. So we have to understand who is saying to whom. Swaminathan is a proper noun, so we have to write it in capital. Swaminathan, stand up, said the teacher. Teacher said this, so we have to put it into a double inverted comma. Here, comma, said the teacher, full stop, and Swaminathan, again, S will be capital. Swaminathan stood up. Okay. What is Lisbon famous for? Lisbon is another proper noun, so it will be in capital. And here is question, so it is asked by the teacher, so we will put it into inverted commas. Asked the teacher, full stop. Swaminathan hesitated and ventured for being the capital of. Okay, hesitated and ventured, comma, and here for being the capital of Spain. Okay, here inverted comma will be closed. Spain is also a proper noun, so it will become capital. Okay, the teacher bit, sorry, huh. The teacher bit his mustache and fired a second question. Okay, and fired a second question. Comma will be here and then inverted commas. Okay, what do you know about the climate of India? India, I will be capital. Okay, any proper noun will start with a capital letter. Okay, remember, it is hot in summer and cold in winter. Okay, who is saying this? Swaminathan, so it will be in capital. This will be, here will be a question mark. Okay, because question is asked and this is starting, and Swaminathan is answering, so it will be starting from the inverted comma. It is hot in summer and cold in winter. Okay, so and this the here the answer will be closed. And here another part is stand up on the bench. Who will say this? Who is saying this? Wrote the teacher. Teacher is saying. So again inverted comma will start. Stand up, and it will also be capital. Stand up on the bench, and exclamation will be there because it is said in a anger. Okay, so Stand up on the bench, roared the teacher, and Swaminathan, S will be capital, stood up without a protest. Okay, full stop will be there. So, like this, we have to punctuate the sentences or passages. Okay, punctuation is very easy if you understand. We have to just correct the sentences, correct the marks, give the marks, punctuation marks, and capitalization is important. Okay, so like this, here is another sorry. So here are activities. Think of situations. Okay, 1 minute. Think of situation where you find your friend telling lies, form pairs, and have an imaginary conversation with your friend about his bad habit. Okay, so this is conversation like, if imagine your friend is like Pip, and speak about that. This is speaking activity. Okay, this is writing activity. Write an imaginary or real story about a boy girl getting into real trouble because of telling lies. Okay, you can make up imaginary story like this. Collect some interesting excuses of classmates make when they forget to do or bring their homework. Okay, what kind of excuses your friends and classmates give, and you sometimes also. So what excuses you give for not doing the homework or not bringing the homework. Okay, so so children, like this we have solved all the exercises of this lesson. All in the next video we will start from grammars. Okay, write all the questions, write all the answers, question answers in your notebook, and show me.